You were supporting Donald Trump. Why not now?
He hasn't been listening to us. We would love to have him join us at a mosque or meet with Muslim Americans, but he has not exactly been very open.
Throwing down the gauntlet to Donald Trump, it's a dicey proposition. Many have tried, many have disappeared into relative obscurity or run from the reality show star in abject shame or fear. Our next guest has no fear. Stands out as one who fears not the Republican frontrunner, a Republican Muslim and former congressional candidate from Oregon, who heard what the Donald said about banning all Muslims from entering America, then fired back with a challenge, a dare, if you will, one that has failed to rouse a response from the man who lets nothing slip by his furrowed gaze. President of the Republican Muslim Coalition, welcome Saba Ahmed back to the Hardline. Saba, it's a pleasure to see you again. And I got to tell you, the last time we spoke, we even mentioned this about the possibility of you getting together with Donald Trump. And I think it was the next day where you came out and made that statement and you invited him to join you at Mosque. Has he responded or anybody from his campaign come back yet?
We're working with his campaign. We're hoping to host him at a mosque in January or February. We have not confirmed any details yet, but I am very positive that he is going to take up on our offer and he will reach out to his Muslim American constituents. And we have lots to hope for in the upcoming presidential election. And yes, despite his comments, I'm hopeful that he's going to use his business skills and use his mind. He's a smart person. I don't think he wants to lose a candidacy over absurd comments. And the statements that he's making are unconstitutional. And I hope, he steps up his campaign, and if he really wants to win the White House, he has to reach out to Muslim Americans. And we look forward to teaching him all about Islam and Muslims.
Now, the word has been used about Donald Trump, demagogue, which is somebody who basically plies on the fears of people without really making a rational argument. On Fox News Sunday, Chris Wallace asked Donald Trump about being called a demagogue, and here's what he said.
I want to make our country safe. In fact, I'm going to add to it. Make America great again, make America safe again. It's not safe. We're living in fear. I'm not creating the fear. People are living in fear.
Now, the last time we spoke, we asked you specifically about the Donald, and there's a majority of likely GOP primary voters talking about the Muslim ban, and they said they are in favor of it. But despite that, when I last spoke to you, you've even said you would support Donald Trump. I'm curious, though, when you talk to your fellow Muslims and people within the faith, do they share that?
Muslims are very offended right now. We are horrified by statements coming out of Donald Trump. His comments about closing down our mosque, putting us in a database, having all of us carry IDs, putting us on a travel ban, and I don't know what's coming next by him, but I just don't see that's presidential material if he's going to be continuing down that road. If he really wants to win the general election, he has to reach out to Muslim Americans. His comments last week, the only good thing that came out of it was that Republicans leadership came out supporting Muslim Americans. I was so happy to see RNC speak out. I was so happy to see Paul Ryan speak out and defend Muslim Americans. And that's the type of leadership we need for America, that unites everybody and actually provides us with a leader that we can look up to. We don't want a divisive person. We all want to live in safety and security. We are not the problem here. We're the ones who cannot probably help solve our national security challenges.
Then let me deal with that, if you will. Let me deal with the security issue. I got about a minute and a half left here, and I need to ask you this because we're all talking now the news about the young lady in California, Tashfeen Malik, passed 3 background checks by American immigration officials. On her social media, said she supported radical terrorism, said she wanted to be a part of it. Would you now, and I know that you continue to talk among the Muslim community, would not even Muslims themselves, peaceful Muslims, admit that something's got to be done and they need to vet these people better and we need to look in them, we need to find them because these are the people that are giving your faith the bad name, and as Americans, you also want them to find them, ferret them out, and stop them, yes?
Of course we do. Taking an innocent life is as though you've killed all of humanity. These people need to know that they're going to be burnt in hellfire. Quran is very clear about taking innocent life. What they did in California was absolutely horrifying. They hurt not only themselves, the people, the victims, their families, everybody was shocked. These types of terrorists, we need to take away their Islam and obviously ban them from coming to the United States. They should have no way of coming into this country.
Saba, I know I asked you this last time. I got about 30 seconds left. I'm going to ask you again because you said you would tell me every time we speak then. I know you've mentioned about your affinity for Donald Trump, but have you decided on one or two candidates on the Republican side that you think would serve the Muslim community well and be able to keep America safe?
I was very glad to see Marco Rubio speak out in defense of Muslim Americans. Carly Fiorina has also come out. Cruz, we're working on him, and Trump as well. I'm hoping they're going to come around in the next few months, and before any of the primaries take place, we're going to turn around all of them.
You are very forward in a lot of your comments, and you are very straightforward about it, and speaking to a lot of people here who are listening and they're hearing your words. We're going to stay in touch. We're going to find out what happens here, and we're going to find out when Donald shows up. That's what we want to know. Go to SabaAhmed.com or RepublicanMuslimCoalition.com. Saba Ahmed, pleasure to see you again. Thanks for joining us. The Political Animal deals with Pinocchios and a presidential yawn. Next on The Hardline.